Next up we have one of the PSPs, which stands for PlayStation Portable. So PlayStation bought out various ones of these, the 1000 series, 2000, 3000, PSP Go, and also PSP-E, I think it was, Street or something. I'm not sure if it was called that everywhere or not. Now, I had a look at this one earlier, and this is a PSP 2000. I had a mess around with this earlier, and basically it works, but yet it doesn't allow you to play discs on it. Right, so now let's just take this out, turn it on, let it boot up to begin with, then we'll put the, pop the disc in. Okay, so you can see there. So for some reason when we put a disc in, it doesn't allow it to work. You can see what's happening here. It will just keep wearing away, but it won't come up. It should have loaded up here by now. Okay, so this is FIFA 06, and now if you watch, you see it's coming up here just like the other one. And there you go, can you see it's come up UMD, and in a few more seconds it will come up with the actual screen. Right, so if you have a look in here, you can see the lasers just there, and it looks like it moves along this track here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it all the way to that side there, and I'm going to put the disc in again and see if it moves forward. If it does, at least we know that that is moving okay. So again, you can see it's failed to actually load up. So now let's have a look in the back. I'm just going to open it up. Let's have a look in the back and see if it's moved. Right, it's still over this side here. So now, okay, well, it's turned itself on now. Now let's do it again and see if it moves over. And then what we'll do is we'll move it all the way in and see if it maybe moves out a little bit. Right, okay, so again, nothing's happening, but yet you can see it is spinning. And we're still stuck all the way over there. So let's just move it in all the way to there now. I'll tell you what, let's move it halfway. There, we're halfway. Right, nothing's happening. And it's just stuck halfway, so that's not a promising sign. So what I'm going to do is, because again I haven't repaired these, I've repaired one of them which had a faulty power jack ages ago on a trying to fix video. Let's do exactly the same thing now with this, and let's see if when I move this disc forward and back, let's see if it then moves itself. So we're all the way in at the moment, so I'm going to move it all the way out to there. Right, this makes a lot more noise as well. Right, and it's come up there. So now let's open it up. And you see it's gone all the way in. So 100% that should be moving. So that might well be the problem. I'm wondering whether a dirty lens would mean it doesn't bother moving, because if it's not recognising the disc, maybe it won't bother moving from where it is. So I think first things first, let's just do a few things. Let's turn it off, let's have a look in the back, and clean the lens, and also just clean a few points around. So for example, I can also see a little white thing here, and that must recognise when the disc is in. Well, not the disc, but that must recognise when the yeah, it is. That recognises when the door is shut and the disc is in, because obviously if it's quite long, so when the door is shut, that's not going to force that down, but when the disc is in, that's going to force it down. So basically that must be the thing that tells this that the disc is in. Now it is whirring, so it must know that the disc is in. I can also see another little switch just down here. See in here? So I'm just going to clean that, clean up this, and clean up the lens as well. See if that makes any difference. It does look particularly clean in there, but just in case it is a dirt issue. Right, going to get some IPA. And first I'm just going to clean the lens just with a clean cotton bud, a Q-tip, before I put IPA on the switches. This is just like a contact cleaner. Yeah, that is a tiny little switch. This one here, it actually goes in. Let me try to, I really want to show you that. Let me try to zoom in on it. Perfect, this is it here. Right, so you know we've got the Sony here. This is the top thing that closes down. And now look at this little switch here. It does actually move all the way in. See if I can grab it and push it in. There you go, look. Right, so maybe contact cleaner in there. Maybe this is the thing that, I don't know why it would have two switches. Maybe one switch to say that the disc's in there. Maybe would this cause the motor to move up and down? I don't know why you would need two. Or is it just that well made that it's got two switches? In case one, I don't know. Safety reasons, I don't know. That's that one, and it's just, I don't even know if that deoxit is going to even work its way in there at all. Well, that's a start. I mean, we haven't even taken it apart yet, but let's see if that's going to fix it or not. Right, so 100% that is working okay. Let's do this little switch up here. Right, so happy that they're working, so it looks to be more of an actual laser issue rather than anything to do with switches, which is, I suppose, not good news. Leave all that in place there. That looks like it's kind of all stuck to the board. So now I'll have to see how I can release this back part. Oh, okay. It looks like there's a tiny little axle going from the body into here. So basically this lid has like a hole and there's an axle. So if I can just spread it a little bit, then I should be able to pop one side out. When one side comes out, the other side should come out. See what's responsible for moving it up and down. See if that's actually doing what it's supposed to do. Definitely working, and it definitely feels nice and smooth. So it could be the fact that maybe this motor here is not spinning. I wonder, can we take this plastic thing off? So this motor here may not be working, or it might be that the laser's not reading it properly. Annoyingly, I haven't got another 2000 series just to swap parts around on. But I don't think you'd be able to buy the motor separately anyway. It looks like it's moulded on, fitted onto here. There doesn't seem to be any potentiometer on here, you know, where you can adjust the power off the laser. Oh, actually, saying that, there isn't there, just here. I wonder, should I give that just a tiny turn? The problem is, if the laser's dying, the laser's still going to be dying, and I wonder how long this would actually last, because I know when people do it on other things like the Dreamcast and the GameCube and stuff, I don't really think it's a lasting fix. Judging by what we've got, the evidence so far is that no matter where I move this to, it doesn't appear to be moving, which says the motor's faulty. But the thing is, I'm not going to be able to buy a motor separately anyway, so even if I was to ruin the laser, then I've got a feeling it's all going to come as one piece. So maybe I could try turning that, because what I'm thinking is maybe it's not moving into position because the laser's not recognising the disc. So this recognises that there's a disc in there. It starts spinning it up using this one. So we know this one here is definitely working. But if the laser's not working, maybe then this doesn't move around to find the correct place, you know, where it needs to be, the start of the disc. Interestingly, it looks like the laser, look at that, the laser's generated here, look. Let me zoom right in to show you. Right, look what's happening here. I think that part is the laser and it's shooting out this way, and can you see it goes onto this right angled bit of, presume a bit of mirror or glass or something reflective, which is then shoving it up through this one here. So it could be that the glass is dirty, but I wonder whether that glass has any, because remember I've cleaned the laser, I wonder if the glass has any kind of reflective sort of coating on it by me rubbing it with a Q-tip, whether it would fail or not. But still, if I do this, maybe I'll be able to see it turn. There we go, and the red light's on. And it's moving up and down, it's focusing. That's definitely moving up and down, and now it's stopped because it hasn't seen the disc in there. So now if I place this disc here, I'm not going to be able to, that's where that goes, I'm not going to be able to get to this one here now, am I? Right, actually let me use something plastic. Right, so okay, I'm holding that down there now. Now let's put the disc in, and let's hold down this one. That's making a lot more noise, or is it just because everything's out? Because I've got no way of knowing, have I, whether that's doing anything or not. But maybe if I was to move the laser out to one side, I would see it move back in, just like it did on the proper one. So let's try and do that, because I'm not getting anywhere here. Yeah, when I press that one, it stops. Now let's hold that one, and now let's take this one off. Yes, there's definitely two switches. There's definitely two switches that's responsible for the spinning of it. Right, let's move this all the way out here, and we'll see if it moves back in. I have to get this on the switch again, like that. No, it's not moving. That's not moving in. And I can just see the little red dot just on the corner here. Right, okay, so we started at 1.38 kiloohms, we've gone to 1.13 kiloohms by turning it clockwise. Don't know, maybe by about 15 degrees, not much at all. Let's see now if that's made any difference. Remember, I can always put it back to 1.38 if it doesn't do anything. Oh, sorry, let me show you what I turned. Right, so this is it here, just to give you your bearings. You can see that this is the laser here. That's that funny glass thing I was talking about. You know, the angle glass, and this is the thing that I've turned just here. And if I go between the top one and this one here, it gives me a short. Yes, that's 0.4 ohms. If I go between here and here, it's giving me 1.14 ohms. That was 1.13 before, but that's 1.14 kiloohms. And if I go between here and here, it also gives me 1.14 kiloohms. Okay, so that's slightly drifted a tiny bit. Maybe with me just knocking it there, I could have possibly made it change, but then again, we're talking tiny amounts. So now let's do the same as we did before, just kind of balancing it up to see if we can get any reading on it. Okay, so I've got my watchmaking little screwdrivers out. These are tiny little flatheads, and I did find one that fitted, and if I'd used that at the beginning it probably would have been okay, but I didn't. I was using just a normal small crosshead, and in doing that what happened is it kind of domed the little thing, so then I can't get a proper grip on it, and now basically no matter what I do to it, no matter how much I turn it, it's always reading I think it was 2 or 3 ohms. So obviously this is now, this potentiometer is beyond repair. There you go, 2.3 mega ohms. So that's no good because we started at 1.38 kilo ohms. I'm annoyed that by putting it down to 1.13 that it didn't do anything. Of course, I'm only guessing that that was the problem. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see whether these can be changed with any other model, because there was another PSP in Marcel's lot, a silver one, but that's a 3000 one. But that one has got a smashed screen. So if I could make one good one out of 2 bad ones, that would be good, but I'm not sure if the 2000 laser is compatible with the 3000 model laser, so that's what I need to Google. So we'll be back to this shortly. Right, okay, so this is the other one that I got in the Marcel's lot, and if you have a look, again, battery missing and cover missing, so needs £10 needs to be spent there. But look, if I turn it on, you will see that the screen here is smashed. Yeah, there we go. So you can see it is recognising the disc, and apparently the 2000 and 3000 discs are compatible with each other. So I think this, the sensible thing to do would be to take this one apart, take the disc out and see if it works in this one here. If it works, at least we've got one good one out of the 2. And then I can make my mind up whether I want to repair this or not, because then it would need a disk drive and it would need a screen and a battery at the back. In which case then, no, you know, well, do you know what? I'll see, but you're going to be spending £40 to have something that's worth £40. But at least if I can get this one working, then that's going to be something. So let's take this one apart, because we don't really know that the laser is faulty on this. Well, you know, I'm assuming the laser's faulty, but that's only guesswork. Right, again, this hasn't been taken apart before. It's such a shame to have to break the seal on it, but needs must. Wow, okay, so you don't have to dismantle the whole thing to be able to get this out. That's fantastic. Look, it's still relatively intact, just, you know, the spring and stuff came out of this this part here. So that's good news. Right, now let's connect this up to here and see what happens. I'm gonna have a visual check, see if it looks the same. Okay, well, from close inspection it just looks the same, but I obviously haven't spent ages looking at it, but I can't see anything obviously different with it. Let's plug it in, turn it on, let's see what happens. Out of the way. There we go. And now let's hold this down here. Okay, it's making a few noises. Yeah, there you go. Oh wow. Right, so that's the motor moving back and forth, and there you go, it's recognised it, look. So 100%, there you go, brilliant. So now let's just try one other disc before I say 100%. That one. And let's go to ELF. UMD. Fantastic. There we go. Lovely. Right, I'm going to put this back together using this one. Right, so let me try and get this back together. Now that's easier said than done, because there is an awful lot of things here to actually put back together. Let me take that out before I short anything. There we go. There's lots to put. It's not going to be an easy job getting this back together because I took it apart completely. So now in hindsight, I know that I can get to the screen and the other one by just taking it partially apart, but I didn't do that on this one. I took everything apart. But this will be useful for me if I do a reassembly video, because then at least now I will have a better idea once I've put it back together of how it comes apart in the future. So let me just crack on with this now. Yeah, it's making the right noises. And there you go, it's come up with UMD. Let's just try some of the others. There's that one. Now this is Elf working. Now let me show you a little bit of gameplay on FIFA 06. Okay, so I've just been messing around with it and it is definitely working. So the analog stick and stuff is working fine. Still don't know what was the matter with this. Remember, the red light was coming on, it was moving up and down, the red light was there. It's just that it just didn't seem to be moving along, making the right noises. So maybe it is this motor here. Unfortunately, now I will never know. If you know what's wrong with it, rather than just guessing, then put it down in the comments. Maybe you've fixed many of these with the same issue. And if it is to do with this little motor, please put it down in the comments, because you'll help me and also other people. If it's to do with the power of the laser, if I was along the right track, again, add it to the comments, because it would be useful to know. So yeah, that is it. Big thanks to Marcel for the opportunity to do these videos, and hopefully you lot will look forward to watching part 4, 5, however many parts it takes to get through them all. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more trying to fix videos. Take care. Bye now.